shit, worth ba tong ginagawa ko? 'Di ba? Nobody's watching me. I don't get the views. I don't get the likes. But I'm passionate about it. Gusto ko gawin to, pero nobody's appreciating it. You're gonna go through your low moments. You're gonna go through some really hard times. How do you be the best at what you're doing? That will be the next challenge, and that will be on you already. Like I said, how do you market yourself? How do you make sure na ikaw lang nakakagawa nito? You have your own style. You have your own, your own format.
Hello guys, I'm Luan Daniel, the creator of Grind Journal, and for today's video guys, we will be interviewing Sam YG. Samahan niyo ako guys on getting to know his story and journey. Hello sir, I'm Luan from Grind Journal. What's your name sir?
My name is Sam YG, and thank you for having me on your show, which is on Instagram and TikTok. Yeah. Show naman show tawag dyan, di ba?
Yes.
Short format show.
So can you tell us what do you do in life and what industry are you?
Okay, I am a professional host, which means I do live events. I've hosted on TV, radio, pretty much everything except children's parties. Yun lang hindi ko kaya i-host. Or hindi ko pa masyado nagagawa.
What was your inspiration on starting out a hosting career?
Oh, that's very interesting. Actually, wala akong balak maging host. No, I was just hosting mga college org get-togethers when I was in college. Tapos, ayun, I tried out for the junior jock program. At that time, it was called Campus Patrol or sa Magic 89.9. Kasi parang masaya ako when I see people happy. Pag napapatawa ko yung mga tao, parang tutuwa rin ako. So sabi ko, shucks, parang okay gawin to, no? But I really wanted to be a lawyer. So I took up legal management. Yun yung gusto ko talaga gawin. But when I started enjoying what I was doing, when I went to radio, sabi ko maybe this is my path talaga. Kasi iba yung fulfillment na nakukuha ko eh. Yun nga, when you make people happy, parang pati ako masaya. So that was a big thing for me.
So can you tell us your backstory before you became a professional host? Do you really see yourself at this path back then?
No, not at all. When I was starting out, like I said, I really wanted to be a lawyer. So I took up legal management sa college. Uh, Tapos tinapos ko siya. Sabi ko, mag-break ako 1 year from legal management. Tapos siya ako mag-law school. While I was doing that 1 year, I had that 1 year break, I started dabbling into hosting. And then TV came, and then more events came, radio came. Then like I said, na-start ko siya ma-enjoy. So what I did, nag-apply akong corporate job. No? I worked for AIA, which is an insurance company. So ang ginagawa ko nun, 9 to 5, nasa Makati ako, doing my regular corporate job. Tapos, 9 p.m. to midnight, yun yung radio show ko. Kasi parang for me, hindi ko mabitawan yung radio at that time because I really liked what I was doing. And then, yeah, when more opportunities came, I think that's one thing that I actually learned about hosting is that you never really know who's watching or who's listening. So, like with what you're doing, diba? Hindi mo alam sino makakapanood nito down the road. Maybe one point somebody important will be watching and would want to produce your show on TV or something. You just never know who's watching. And that's what happened to me. I was doing my best every time I was hosting on radio and TV. And then more TV shows came, then Eat Bulaga came, and then more events came. And yeah, and like after 19 years, I'm still doing it.
So, what is your secret on the longevity that you have with your career?
Yan ang mahirap. I think in my industry, particularly in entertainment, no, or hosting, and this goes for all industries, no? Kung ano man yung industry na pinapasok mo, kahit nga gadgets eh, may isipin mo, it's really, you know, keeping yourself or staying on top of the game. And one keyword I would like to use would be innovation. Whether, like ito ginagawa mo ngayon, di ba? Ngayon, inisip mo na dapat, what's the next step? Like, what's next for you? How do you take this to the next level? I think a lot of people, when they're doing what they're doing already, they get stuck in a routine and then they forget what's next or they forget to take it to the next level. I think that's very, very important. No matter what your industry is, no matter what career you get into, it's when you reach this milestone or this goal, it's setting the next goal. So I think for me as an entertainer, like I said, going back to innovation, it's keeping myself updated with what's happening. Kailangan yung jokes ko, yung pag-host ko, laging fresh yung material. Hindi pwedeng, oh, napanood ko na to, si Sam YG, tapos after 3 years, oh, yan pa rin yung mga jokes, yan pa rin yung material niya, parang wala na bang bago? This industry will eat you alive. No, it's such a dog eat dog industry. So you snooze, you lose. But I wouldn't just say that for my industry. It happens to, you look at your iPhone, di ba? Bakit si iPhone nag-launch ng bagong model every year? Di ba? Kasi hindi siya pwede maluma kay Samsung, hindi siya pwede maluma sa ibang brands. Why do our gadgets, why do, other companies always come up with something new? Di ba? Like yung mga drone, bakit may lagi may bago? So, every company, every person, whatever you're doing in life, no, always innovate. Always, think of what's next. Never be stuck in one level kasi maiiwan ka.
So your secret to having a long career is innovating and improving yourself.
Of course, every time. Like, I don't think when you think you're the best, try to be better than the best. Try to see what else you can do. So now that social media is here, I expanded to social media. I started doing content, and even that takes time. Kailangan ng creativity, diba? Like in your case, you invite or you invite people to be interviewed. So it's always leveling up. So I think that's one of the key secrets to staying in the game or longevity is keeping up and staying ahead of the game. Things staying 2 steps ahead of the game.
You mentioned earlier that you did a corporate job. But when did you realize that you're not built for that and you're built for hosting?
That's a good question. Kasi hinahanap-hanap ko pa rin yung yung pag-host ko. So I was doing my 9 to 5, my corporate job, the normal in front of a desktop, which was okay. I mean, for some people it works. But there was a calling eh. May calling ako na parang, teka, parang gusto ko rin gawin to. But syempre, out of college, being unsure, parang ang hirap tumaya, 'di ba, sa entertainment industry or sa hosting industry. So what I did, pinagsabay ko yung pag-host tsaka yung corporate job. I said, I'll do it for 1 year and I'll see which one, baka naman, kasi minsan you have to try something eh. Para malaman kung yun yung gusto mo eh. Minsan masyado ka lang takot to try something. So I said, why don't I try it both? I tried corporate, I tried hosting, and I felt my heart was nalalapit sa hosting. So I went, towards that path.
You are one of the best in the game. Pero with 2 decades of your career, what was the lowest point of your career and how were you able to overcome it?
I think instead of lowest point, maraming challenges. Let's talk about challenges, which I think would lead to the lowest point. So, number one, when I was starting out, syempre, hindi pa ako ganun ka-confident. No? You get on stage, you get nervous with people you interview, with people, you're hosting for. Especially, I remember particularly, yung meron akong dalawang major bubus na sa pag-host na sobrang tumatak sa heart ko tsaka sa brain ko kasi sobrang wild siya. Number one, nung nag-launch si Krispy Kreme sa Philippines, the donut brand, no? So they got me to host. I was still a new host. I think that was like 2010, bago-bago pa ako noon. Tapos syempre gusto mo pasikat, 'di ba? Nakalala ka nila. So I was bringing my energy. Tapos sabi ko, ladies and gentlemen, kasi lumipad dito at that time, the CEO of Krispy Kreme flew to the Philippines to open Krispy Kreme Philippines. So I was so hyped. Sabi ko, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Donut himself, so and so and so. At that point, I realized, kalaban ni Krispy Kreme si Mr. Donut. Inintroduce ko yung CEO ng Krispy Kreme as Mr. Donut. So I was like, shit, paano ko isi-save to? Diba? So tumatakbo na sa akin yung stage director. Sabi niya, oh my God, anong ginagawa mo? Bakit mo sinabi Mr. Donut sa Krispy Kreme? Ganon. So, I think moments like that would really humble you. Make you, it would, of course, have some setbacks, diba? Na, nagkamali, major mistake, ganyan. So that was, I think, a very challenging point kasi I had to come back after that mistake. I had to prove myself again. Parang okay ka na pero back to zero ka na naman because of a big mistake. But it didn't stop me from, getting back in the game and proving okay, I made a mistake, but I can come back stronger, better. Another challenge, I guess, for me, another challenge in my career, or maybe scary point, would be when I left radio, when I left Boys Night Out. So I did a show called Boys Night Out for 17 years. We were doing a night show from Tao dito from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. right about that time. So, parang yung pangalan ko kasi na-attach sa group na yun, no? Parang Justin Timberlake, NSYNC, di ba? Nick Carter, Backstreet Boys. O Sam YG, laging Boys Night Out. So, to step away from a group that you were part of for 17 years and people know you kasi part ka ng group na yun, kumbaga going solo, di ba? Leaving the comforts of your group to do something on your own was also very challenging for me. Kasi for me, inisip ko, shucks, paano pag wala nang kukuha sa akin to host? Wala nang TV show na kukuha sa akin kasi hindi na ako part ng group na yun eh. Hindi na ako part ng power group. Diba? So, at that time, I had to reassess a lot of things. Figure out how I'm gonna market myself also as a solo performer, as a solo host na kaya ko to on my own. So that was a bit challenging for me. But yun nga, I was able to pull through. I think it really takes a lot of planning. Hindi pwedeng you just make your moves without planning ahead. I'm quite a planner. So before I make major moves, I really plan everything ahead.
So, what is your secret to sales? Kasi sabi mo, mahirap talaga mag-market ng sarili mo.
Mhm.
So, how are you able to do that?
Okay, that's number one is consistency, no? Pinaka nakakapagod din yung consistency. Kasi may araw talaga na magigising ka na, shit, worth ba tong ginagawa ko? Diba? Nobody's watching me. I don't get the views. I don't get the likes. But I'm passionate about it. Gusto ko gawin to, pero nobody's appreciating it. You're gonna go through your low moments. You're gonna go through some really hard times. But I think consistency is one. And always go back to your why. Why do you do this? Ano bang purpose mo in doing this talaga? Diba? Some people do it for the money. Some people do it for the fame. Some people have a higher purpose. So, figure out your why. Why are you doing this? Ano ba talaga yung reason? No? Then you do it, you be consistent with it. And then slowly you'll figure out. Like with everybody that's doing the same thing, ang dami naman host sa Pilipinas, diba? Ang daming gumagawa ng content sa Pilipinas. What makes yours different? So, at the end of the day, tanong mo sarili mo. You'll get to that point eh. Bakit ako yung papanoorin? Let's say, meron kang 10 TV shows o 10 Netflix series na pwede panoorin ngayong gabi. Meron kang 2 hours. Bakit ko pipiliin yung content mo, Lou? What will you offer me na hindi ma-offer ng iba? So when you answer that question, when you find the answer to that question, eye-opener siya eh. Na parang, okay, shit. Kasi kaya ko gawin to. Ako lang nakagawa nito.
So, can I ask you, what is your why with what you're doing?
My why would be same thing I said at the start of the interview. It's the fulfillment of making people happy. Kahit na I've had a long day, sometimes you have 3 events in one day, minsan talaga nakakapagod. But when I see people laugh, I see people smile because I'm hosting an event, napatawa ko sila, natutuwa rin ako, natatanggal pagod ko, natatanggal stress ko. So, I think that's my why, Why do I do it? Because I love seeing people happy.
Sa showbiz and media, hindi natin maiiwasan yung bashing.
Oo naman.
Pero how are you able to deal with those things? And why do you keep on going?
Hi tayo sa mga bashers natin dyan. Hello sa bashers. No? Okay. How do you deal with bashers? The mere fact that you have bashers means you're doing something right. Napapansin ka na. I'm not saying totally right, but napapansin ka. No? So, that's part of the territory. Yeah, kailangan sabi nga lang, malaki o malakas yung sikmura mo sa ganyan. Because not everybody will be happy for your success. Sometimes, sometimes your closest friends, sila pa yung hindi happy para sa success mo. I'm gonna go back to focusing on what you're doing. No? Bashers will come, bashers will go, as long as you're not stepping on anyone. So, maayos yung ginagawa mo. I think you will get to the point na wala ka nang pakialam. Like, I think I've gotten to the point na bashers are there, pero hindi na ako, natatawa na lang ako. Dati na-affect ako. So, syempre, parang, let's say, you post something, out of 1,000 comments, meron nung isang negative. Minsan, wala ka nang pakialam sa 900 na mabuting comment eh. Na-focus mo lang yung isang negative comment na yan. Kasi nga negative siya, 'di ba? But then if you flip the script, 'di ba? You look at the other side of the fence, there are more than 900 positive things that have been said about you. Pero ba't mo fino-focus yung isang negative na yun, 'di ba? So focus on the 900 other things that people love about you, or other people that love you, instead of focusing on the one that is trying to bring you down.
So do you believe with work-life balance on having a long career?
Oo naman. I had to learn that the hard way. Kasi dati work lang ako ng work, ng work, ng work. And I admit there were burnouts, there were moments na you're just so tired, it becomes routine. And then uh dun ko na realize na rest is important. And as much as you're so scared na if you take a break, baka mawala yung relevance mo, baka wala nang pagkabalik mo, wala ka ng audience, wala ka ng fans. But taking a break is so important because it recharges your mind and your spirit. So whenever I have a chance to take a break, which I do a few times a year, ang sarap ng feeling. I become more creative. Parang, especially when I travel out of the country, and dami ko na kung ideas. Parang, shit, shucks, pwede ko gawin yan. Pwede ko gawin yan. So, use your breaks to inspire you to come up with, fresh ideas to be on top of your game. It's part of it. Hindi pwedeng, kahit, di ba, sa NBA may off-season eh. Kahit sila, di ba, nagpapahinga because they need, hindi mo lang pwedeng, hindi nga tayo, we're not machines, we're human beings. Hindi tayo robot. So there has to be strategic breaks also for you to recharge.
So let's go back to the wins of your career and life. What is the biggest project that you pulled off, and what is the most amount of money you made in that project?
Hmm. Biggest win in life would be marrying my wife, of course. That would be the biggest win in life. Kasi um, I think I wouldn't be here also. She brought me to a whole new level of, of, she brought my career to a whole new level and my success to a whole new level. And I'm super thankful for her. Biggest gig, madami, but I'd always go back to Um, I remember there was one the Sketcher street dance competition. It was a bago pa yung MOA Arena noon. I hosted that jam-packed MOA Arena mag-isa. That's always a big win. Siyempre, if you mapatawa mo yung like 25, 30,000 people, mapatawa mo sila, mag-isa ka lang sa stage. It's challenging pero ang sarap ng feeling. Parang you'd still remember the feeling until today. I've hosted a lot of international um, gigs as well. So there's Viber in Singapore. I've hosted weddings in Europe, in Turkey. Um, this year I have also a lot of international bookings, which is great because at least the Pinoy talent is going international. Biggest paycheck. Oof, 700,000 yata for 3 hours. Not bad. Nanlibre ako nun, 3 hours lang. So,
That's a big money.
mm,
So how are you able to do that?
like I said, it's really focusing on being the best. No, when people hire me, when they say na, we want Sam YG to host our event, whether it's a wedding, a birthday party, a corporate event, a product launch, may sineset ka na certain standard eh. Na parang, okay, kinukuha nyo ako kasi ito yung kaya ko dalin to your program. Kaya ko dalin to the table. It took a long time to get there. And like I say, a lot of innovation. What else can I do better? What else can I do better? Paano ko gagawin to? Paano ko gagawin yan? You work with your team. Hindi ka lang naman, kahit naman host ka, there's a team behind you. Your director, your script writer, audio guys, and everything. Kahit na ikaw yung nasa stage, it takes an entire team to make a show work. So you gotta give props to everybody that works behind the scenes kasi lahat yan part of making you who you are. Uh, I think yeah, it's just maintaining quality control. Every single event you go out there, you give it your best. Because like I said, you never know who's watching. You never know who's listening. So yeah, when I get on stage, it's just like I'm there to give it my best, and I want to make sure that you leave that event remembering that event kasi sobra ka nag-enjoy. People will always remember how you made them feel.
So, how important your partner is on your success right now?
Very important. She is the most important part of my success because um like whenever I need guidance, whenever I need to ask, ask about something, tama ba 'tong gagawin ko? Do you think I should do this? Should I create this type of content? She's always there. Like, kaya niya mag kasi tayo, kung tayo yung artist, invested tayo sa gagawin natin eh, 'di ba? Siyempre mahal mo yung ginagawa mo eh, 'di ba? But it takes someone also to look at it from a objectively. Parang, okay, wala akong attachment dyan. Sige, tingnan natin yung business plan mo. And it's very important to create a business plan. A lot of people just get into the industry but don't really have a business plan, which I think is very, very, very important. Ask yourself once again, where do you want to take this? Diba? How good do you want to be? Do you have to take lessons? Do you have to take workshops to be even better? Feeling mo ba, kaya mo pa iangat yung sarili mo? Or okay ka na? Diba? And I don't think you can stop learning. There's always, even if you're the best, you could still be better. You could still learn something new. So she's there. She's like talagang helping me with everything from content creation to hosting to creating my business plan. She's been there from the start, and yeah, like I said, wala rin ako dito kung wala siya.
So you don't take all the credit, and your wife is one of the reasons on why you became
Of
successful.
course. Oh, magagalit sa akin yan pag hindi ko rin. Joke lang. Yes, totoo yun. Totoo yun. Oh, yeah, definitely. Like I said, you can be the frontliner. Parang ikaw, di ba? Oh, ikaw yung nakikita sa interviews. Pero there's a team behind, creating this, your content, creating your show, making it the best show. So there's a team behind it. And it's very important that your team is the dream team.
So do you think college degree or school made you successful, or do you think life experience is the biggest lesson that you had that you can take with your hosting career?
Ano yan? I'd say 50-50. I can't say na huwag ka mag-aral, huwag ka mag-college. Alam mo yun, because there are things you would learn. I wouldn't say also na lahat na natutunan ko ng college na gagamit ko ngayon. No? So, meron talaga, like I said, I studied to be a lawyer, but here I am hosting events and shows. So, there are parts that you'd be able to use, parts that you won't be able to use, but ang importante, nandyan yung knowledge mo. Yung kumbaga, yung bag mo ready, di ba? Ready with everything you need. And nobody can take away education from you. People can take away your watch, people can take away your shirt, your clothes, di ba? You can go broke tomorrow, but they can't take this away from you. So if you have this, you can build from scratch again. Like we talked about, tinanong mo kanina, challenging times, di ba? Times that medyo mababa ka, or you felt that, the lowest point of your career. Without this, without the education, you wouldn't be able to go back to where you were. So that would separate those who are, I guess nandyan lang na, alam mo yun, na, or who would actually fall when there's something that goes wrong, rather than people that, hindi, kahit something goes wrong, kaya ko to.
So knowledge is power.
Of course.
And if
oo.
you would start again this 2025 from scratch with no name,
Oh.
with no fame, what would you start?
What do you mean, what business?
A business or a career? What would you go for?
That is very interesting. Siguro I would, if I were to start again now from scratch, no, I would probably, gandang tanong yan, teka, isipin ko. I would probably get into something tech related because I'm so interested in tech, in how tech is evolving, tech is moving so fast. So I'd probably create maybe something that's related to AI also, using AI for, to make work more efficient, something along those lines.
So with everything that you do, just like with tech, you always do innovation.
Siyempre. Oo, kaya siguro AI yung sinabi ko. Kasi, let's say, kung pwede naman nasa bahay lang ako, di ba? Pero nag-host ako sa MOA Arena. Pero yung hologram ko na lang yung nag-host doon. Oh, di ba? Okay, siguro yun. That'd be so cool, di ba? Or Gumawa ako ng pangalawang Sam YG para at least, kaya ko mag-host ng isang event sa Singapore, isa sa Hong Kong, isa sa Manila, all at the same time. Wouldn't that be amazing? Diba? If you could do something like that and create a hologram of yourself na alam na niya yung mga, let's say, mga jokes ni Sam YG para naka-pattern na siya sa'yo. So ngayon, you can do more work. Diba? You can, tapos yung room for error, maliit na rin. Diba? You can study the crowd and everything. So yeah, that would be interesting, I think.
If you would make a formula of your success, what would it be and why?
Oh, formula to success. There is actually no um no formula to success. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes luck, meeting the right people. Like I said, if I did not host my college general assemblies, I probably wouldn't be here now. I wouldn't know. I liked hosting. If I didn't try out for the campus patroller program sa Magic, I wouldn't be a DJ. So, so I'm saying hard work, but there's also luck. Kung hindi rin nila ako kinuha, wala rin ako dito ngayon. Diba? Tapos swerte lang. I just joined the contest on Eat Bulaga. Tapos swerte, kinuha nila ako. So it's a mix of hard work, it's a mix of luck. And once you get the ball rolling, you get your foot in the door, that's where things get interesting. That's where ikaw na talaga yun. Kasi kumbaga, nandun na yung swerte, diba? You've done your hard work, swerte ka na, your foot's in the door. Now, how do you be the best at what you're doing? That will be the next challenge, and that will be on you already. Like I said, how do you market yourself? How do you make sure na ikaw lang nakakagawa nito? You have your own style, you have your own, your own format. That's when things get really interesting.
So you're always up to improving yourself.
Of course, kailangan, no. I think until today. I know, I'm sure until today, it's always how do I improve? How do I get better? How do I, how do I maintain? Like I said, when you get me to host your program, there's that certain expectation, no? Na Sam YG yung mag-host niyan. So kailangan you give it your all. And how can you even improve? Na parang, grabe, kala ko nakita ko na lahat. Meron pa palang hindi ko pa nakikita. May ganun.
So coming from a mentor, what is the best advice you've ever received?
I think one advice that would always stick to me is, at least in hosting, is perform with a mindset that this would be your last show ever. Every time you go on stage, isip mo, this will be the last show I'm hosting. So if you had one chance, diba, one last chance to go all out, make people happy, what would you do? How would you treat that event? And if you have that mindset with everything you do, about perform as if it's gonna be your last, then I think you're gonna take yourself to another level also. Na shit, last ko na to. Diba? Hindi mo mabibigay lahat mo. Kasi you're only, people will remember you for your last show, your last performance, your last episode. And you want them to remember you and always say na parang shit, sobrang solid nun. Wala makakagawa ng ginawa niya.
So you treat every event or every gig as your last game.
Mm-hmm.
Last
parang ikaw si Jordan or si Kobe, diba? Parang, okay, that's gonna be my last game, diba? Aren't you gonna make sure you kick ass? So that's the plan.
So last question, brother, before we end this wonderful episode, can you give a piece of advice for our younger generation or for the aspiring host that wants to have a life that you have right now?
Okay, for everybody that's aspiring to have, to be a host, to be, I mean, to be a host now. Number one, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. Why do you want to be a host? Kasi that's where everything will stem from. Pag hindi mo sagutin tanong na bakit, doon pa lang baka may problema na. No? Number two, be consistent. No? Be professional, be consistent, because people will remember you for that. Your consistency, your professionalism. And lastly, innovate. Not just because you're good, you're gonna be the best. No? I'm gonna talk about excellence. Excellence is not putting on a good show once. It's not being the best once. It's being the best over and over and over and over again. And even if tomorrow they're gonna ask you to host something, you're still the best, and that is excellence. So don't strive to be the best. Strive for excellence, being the best every single day.
So you just gotta keep on learning.
Keep on learning. Don't stop. That's what I said. Innovate. Keep on learning to make sure you're on top of the game. Na kahit na may gustong umaligid dyan na parang, okay, teka, kaya ko yung ginagawa niya. Humahabol pa lang siya sa'yo, meron ka ng ibang level na narating.
Just strive for more.
Of course, strive for more. Consistency, strive for more, and be different. Be different. Be yourself. Be different. Find what makes you different. Kasi yun yung magiging secret sa lahat. If they say na, ikaw lang makagawa niyan, ikaw lang makagawa niyan, and they're gonna get you because wala nang iba makagawa niyan.
So just be different, just keep on learning, and innovation is one of the key on why Sam became successful. Pleasure to have you, sir.
Alright,
It's an honor.
thank you, bro. Thanks for having me. Sana nakatulong tong episode na to.
What a great interview with one of my inspiration on why I started Grind Journal. And one of the key points that Sam shared on how he became successful is consistency. If you're doing the work, luck will come, opportunity will come. And one of the keys that he shared on how he stayed in the game for 20 years. So thank you guys for watching and see you on our next vlog. If meron kayong gustong interview namin for the next episode, just comment down below.